Are you ready to see the transformation of the Peacock Tee? Well, if you are, keep watching. Today, this video is something completely different than my usual knitting podcast. I have to re-dye a project and I wanted to document it and take you guys along for the ride in case anyone has experienced the same situation where you buy the same yarn, the same dye lot, everything seems perfect, and then you realize there's a difference in color between the skeins. So if you ever had this problem and you ended up just kind of keeping the project that way or not wearing it because of that, this might help you. It's gonna be, first time for me, but I wanted to document for anyone out there that is going through the same, and maybe this video can help you with the process. I'll try to detail and document everything that I do. If you watch my previous video, you know that my Peacock Tee has a different color across my chest. I made the Peacock Tee with Sandnes Garn LeKnit, and all the skeins that I bought, they were apparently all the same dye lot, but obviously not, because one of the skeins was a little bit different than the rest. After much research, I realized that I could re-dye the project. Let's dye this Peacock Tee. This is going to be a fun adventure. I cannot wait to see the end result. First, we need some items. So these are the supplies needed to do this process. You need a bucket or some type of plastic container where you can wash your garment. You need a stainless steel pot. Picked up a tablecloth. I picked up gloves, tongs, a spoon, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a container to mix the colors. And I also picked up salt because you need that for this process. The next thing I bought was the dye. I bought the color remover to remove the color of my garment. Then I purchased the colors that I wanted to mix to create the specific color for my garment. It was also recommended to use a Colorstay, which this actually helps with the bleeding. It helps the color adhere better to the fabric. So I also bought that. Choosing the color was super fun because you can either stick with just one color or you can mix a few different colors to create a specific color. So that was really fun, which is what I did. I mixed my colors to create a specific color. The next step is to wash your garment. Just a quick wash to remove any oils or anything from the fabric. This is an important step when you're trying to remove color. I need to bring 4 gallons of water to a boil and maintain a temperature of 200 Fahrenheit. Once I hit that temperature, I add the color remover to the water and mix well. It's recommended to use a piece of scrap to test the water with the color remover. I actually had a piece of my yarn, which worked out great because I can actually see how the color would be removed. I'm ready to add the top to the water. I had left my top soaking in water while I brought my pot to a boil. So now I'm just squeezing out some of the excess water before putting it in. I'm inserting the top gently and carefully into the hot water. I immediately start stirring the garment. The first 10 minutes are very important in the process. I need to continuously stir the water because I want the garment to keep moving freely in that hot water. It takes 10 to 20 minutes for all of the color to be removed. And basically I should see either the garment be completely white or off-white, which I think for mine it'll be off-white. And again, just continue to stir the garment continuously and I should see some color change. At this point, I decided to change to the tongs just to be able to pick up pieces and pick up the garment and move it around easily with the tongs. And I already see a color change. It's changed so much so quickly. I would say it took about the first 15 minutes for the color to change. And now I just need to rinse the top really well with cool water, warm to cool water, gradually until the water runs clear. My water is now clear, so I'm going to wash my top and then continue to leave it soaking in water and prepare the pot with another 4 gallons of water. I have to add 1 teaspoon of dish soap and also 1 cup of salt to the water. Mix well and bring again to a boil. I would totally use this color remover again. Look at that. It removed all of the terracotta color. Amazing. Now when my water is boiling, I am preparing all of the colors. Like I said, I wanted to make my own color, so I ended up using brown, scarlet, which is like a red, and also some gray. And I mix all three. And now I am adding it to the boiling water and just making sure, I get all that color in there and mix well. Now I'm just mixing my water really well. I want all of that color to really blend in and dissolve before I put my shirt in there. I'm going to use my scrap to test the color saturation. That's the reason I added it to my pot when I had the color remover, because I wanted the terracotta color to be removed from my scrap so I can test it here and just kind of really see if the saturation was what I wanted and if the color was what I wanted. Because at this point I can adjust. I can either add more hot water if the saturation was too dark, or I can add more color if it was too light. I'm so excited for this part. I've been waiting so long to just get the shirt inside the water and see, what's gonna end up looking like. So at this point, I just kind of put in my shirt gently and carefully. I want all of the fibers to soak in all of the color. So with my tongs, I'm able to pick up the top and move it around. And again, you want a lot of water and you want the shirt to be able to move through the water freely, so it can absorb all of the color. And those first 10 minutes are so important and so critical in getting all that color into the fiber. And that's why I have to consistently keep on moving the shirt around. I don't want any splotches. I don't want any, pieces of fabric colored and other pieces not colored. So I just continue to move it around. I'm not that tall, so the pot is really high, and the constant moving and the steam, it becomes very tiring, but you have to continue to work through the water for those 10 minutes without stopping, just to get all of that color into the fiber. It's really important. I just pulled the shirt out. I left it for 20 minutes. It looks really good. I'm really excited how it's turning out. Now I have to do the color stay. So the next step is, again, get the water to a boiling point and add the color stay into the water, mix it well, and add the shirt again for another 15 to 20 minutes. I'm ready to add the top to the water. I have to squeeze out some of that excess water, and the top is hot, but I have to squeeze some of this water out before adding it to my pot. Once I add it, again, I go in gently and carefully because I want to get all that color stay onto the fabric. Now for about 15 to 20 minutes, I am going to continue to mix my top in this water just to help the color stay adhere to the fabric. And it's normal to see a lot of color in that water. I'm ready to take out the top out of the water. This is extremely hot. My husband helped me all through this process. He's my video assistant. And also with the pot, they're so heavy and so hot. So it's great if you have somebody that can help you pour out that water. Now at this point, when I was taking out the shirt, he helped me because, it's really hot, has a lot of water. And now I just have to rinse this shirt until the water runs clear. And I'm going to be running warm water first for a while, and then after that I'm going to go into cool water and just continue to rinse this until it runs clear. I've been running the water for about 2 hours, and it's been so much bleeding. It's insane how much color has been coming out. So I don't know if the Colorstay helped or not. I mean, there was a lot of color in the water when I did the Colorstay, so maybe it did help somewhat. But I've been rinsing this for about 2 hours. My arms are hurting, and I am not, getting any clear water yet. Finally, after 2.5 hours, the water's running clear. The last 30 minutes, I decided to remove it from the bucket and just put it straight into the sink since it was running way lighter than it was previously. And I'm just letting the water continue to run on it and just, patting it and squeezing gently. Just like when we're blocking, just, squeezing gently and just continue to monitor the top and see how clear. Right now, if you can see, the water's running clear, but when I pick up the top and I squeeze it, I still see some bleeding. So again, I would say this process took about 2.5 hours of nonstop changing out the water, letting the water run. And my arms are tired and my hands are tired at the same time. So this, I think, was the longest process, just kind of getting it to that point with the water's running clear. But it's such an important process because I can't move on to just washing the top to set it to block until I know 100% that that water is running clear. Finally, it's completely clear, the water. So I'm going to now wash it with wool wash. And I'm probably going to see some bleeding there also, but that's okay. And I'll continue to wash it and rinse it until the water runs clear again before that final rinse to set it on my blocking boards. As I expected, more bleeding. As you can see, it's lighter, but there is still some bleeding. I am going to continue to rinse it some more until it runs clear. Finally, it's all clear, and now I am squeezing out most of the water, trying to get it as dry as possible so I can set it on my blocking mat and set it out to dry. I cannot wait to see the final result. I hope you guys are excited as well.